Drawing hair, especially if you are going for a more realistic feel, can be a challenge and a struggle. Today I'm going to show you my approach to drawing feminine style hair. My style isn't necessarily trying to perfect photorealism, but if you are after a less cartoony approach for your own comic, graphic novel, or other, this might be good for you. Let's get into it. Okay, so here I've started off by drawing what I'd call the upside down egg shape for the head structure, then place guidelines for the eyes, nose, mouth. Now that I've got that done, I just place guidelines for the largest volume areas of the hair. And these are, like I said, just guidelines that are subject to change as I draw. I just need basic structure at this point. From here, I'm going to break down these larger areas into smaller ones and add just a bit of sectioning lines. Alright, I'm going to start off here with the bangs here in the front. Add some sectioning lines and really define where that bang is over this right eye. Okay, and come here to the back and add some sectioning lines to establish the part in the hair. And you can add some little strands that are breaking off from the main clumps of hair. And just bring it on down. And it's really important to make sure to, when you're bringing the hair down, make sure everything flows in a natural direction and not all, kind of in one way, where it give it a feel of natural flow. Kind of wavy and get it in on this other side. I'm going to kind of have it kind of curling into her neck area. Some more separation lines. Add some volume in the back here. Now that's kind of coming more off towards from the back of the head, but clearly visible. With the female characters, they generally want to have a full volume hair, and just like I did there around the neck, kind of shade in the areas you know are going to be the darkest. Add some more volume here to the back. Few more sectioning lines. And go ahead and add some definition to her neck area will help. That's looking good. Alright. Alright, so now that I've got that in place, I've established where the hairline will be. I've added plenty of sectioning lines for the time being, and I've generally established The light will be coming from the upper right hand corner based off the placing of the sectioning lines in the upper part of the hair. If you notice, I added eyebrows and gave the neck area more definition, which can help you get all your proportions correct and establish exactly where you want all of the smaller strands of hair to fall. At this point, I'm going to add my first base layer of shading by lightly shading in the main bulk area of the hair, making these passes in 3 separate directions. Alright, I'm going to come in here and start off with some vertical shading, and I'm going to shade each section separately to try to simplify it for myself. The shading is the key to making this hair look more realistic, and the 3 passes I'm going to make here really gives it a nice smooth base. Very important to get your shading correct if you're going to try to attempt any type of realism whatsoever. And on this second pass, trying to do mostly a horizontal, little diagonal there, but kind of following the same guides as I did in the last pass. And try to be as light with your pencil as you possibly can. As you see, I use mechanical pencil, which is it's just because I'm so comfortable using mechanical pencils, but you can use whatever pencils you're comfortable with. These mechanical pencils tend to be lighter as well, and so that's kind of also why I like it. So yeah, making this final pass in mostly a diagonal direction. Almost done. And I apologize on this section of the video for the shaky camera. I did not realize that my camera stand was pushed up against my table, but I'm gonna fix it in just a minute if you can just bear with me. But once again, I'm starting with the dark areas, worked in the roots. Now I'm kind of defining more of the sectioning lines, a little more of the roots there coming down. I'm really defining more of those sectioning lines right now, giving the hair more definition and darkening some of these shadow areas. Bring that down some more, and coming in with a little bit of shading in these areas I know that's going to be dark, working out towards the lighter areas. All right. At those points where I know 2 sections separate is where I really like to make it the darkest. Now I'm going to come in with this blending stump. This is a number 2 blending stump. Kind of smooth out some of the shading. Once again, working from darkest to lightest. Kind of feather it out or fan it out. Okay, there. Now I finally adjusted my camera. Alright, yep. There. Now it's adjusted. And now I can really come in and kind of give a little more detail to this hair here after I've done smoothed it out a little bit with that blending stump. I'm actually going to kind of define a little bit of her facial structure, even though this is not a video about that, but add a little bit more definition to these bangs. And that's starting to look good now. It's all starting to come together. Add a little bit more, separate. Add some more shading. And add a little bit more here. I didn't like exactly how that looked. Come in again with this blending stump after I've done shaded a little bit extra. Tad bit more definition. Alright, looking good. We are almost done, but lastly I'm going to take a piece of 1200 grit sandpaper like this one here, and I'm going to sharpen the tip of my pencil here by rolling it around like this and back and forth until it is practically needle sharp. And what I'm doing with that is I'm going to use the sharpened tip to apply very defined lines to really make the hair stand out even further. And you can get sandpaper just like that at most any of your hardware or retail stores. And now coming in with the extra sharp mechanical pencil, I'm going to detail some of these sectional lines. Really define them. In which, I guess typically if you were truly going for photorealism or something, this is not the way to go here. But like I said at the very beginning with my style, it's kind of a blend of realism with a bit of still the animated aspect. So I think it's a good blend for, say, a comic book or graphic novel or something. And to keep it doesn't take long, if you can imagine, with this graphite pencil. I have to keep going back and sharpening it a bit on my sandpaper, and then coming in and pulling from darkest to lightest once again, getting those lines really worked in. But it really kind of makes it pop, I think. I mean, I like it. It's definitely optional and probably a preference, but if you like it or think maybe it's worth giving a shot, just try it out. And I'm actually going to come in a little bit extra with this blending stump, but make sure not to hit the tips of where I had those defined sharpened lines. Alright, just about done. Alright guys, that's it for me. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I hope y'all learned something. If you did, like and subscribe. It would really help a growing channel out like me. And y'all have a great rest of y'all's day. Thank you.